right, Panthers. Today we're going to review the skill of asking and answering questions. The same skill that we did last week, but today we're going to take a look at a nonfiction text because this is a strategy that you can use in all of the reading that you're doing, and you should be asking and answering questions because that is what good readers do. So last week we talked about you can use the 5 W's: who, what, where, when, why, and then add in how for your questioning and coming up with questions, and not just coming up with questions while you're reading, but also making sure that you're stopping to find the answers. So we're going to practice that skill today with this story all about kites. And again, this is from Reading A to Z, and you can do this same type of skill practice in your Raz Kids account and I'll show you how you can add in the text feature to do that. The other thing that you can do if you are reading a book that you have in front of you or an article or something else online, you can just jot down questions on a piece of paper or on stickies while you're reading. So let's get started. All About Kites, written by Elizabeth Austin, illustrated by Maria Voris. Introduction. A kite is one of the oldest toys, and it's very simple to make. Kites come in many sizes, shapes, and colors. Did you know that kites can be both toys and tools? My first question that I'm coming up with, I did not know that kites could be used as tools. I'm very curious about that. So I'm going to grab a text tool here, and I'm going to create a box. Oops, I'm going to move it over. And in here I'm going to ask a question. How can kites be used as a tool? And then I'm going to continue to read. History of kites. Kites were named after the kite bird. The kite bird has wide wings and easily floats high in the sky. No one knows who made the first kite, but one famous Chinese story about a kite was written over 2,000 years ago. The story is about a man who used a kite to attack a fort. He couldn't find a way to get inside the fort, so he tied himself to a huge kite. He flew over the wall of the fort and scared the soldiers. Oh my goodness, I have a question. How did he make the kite so strong? And sometimes when we ask questions in reading, we don't always end up with the answers to them, but that's okay because that's where you can grow more knowledge by doing research on your own to see if you can find answers to some of those questions. The inventor Ben Franklin had the idea that lightning was made of electricity. He wanted to prove his idea. One day when it was stormy, he tied a metal key to a kite string. Then he flew the kite up into the storm clouds. Lightning from the storm hit his kite. The electricity ran down the wet string to the metal key. When he reached for the key, he got a surprise. The electricity jumped from the key and gave him a shock. Do not try this yourself. It's not safe to do. When Ben Franklin tried to do it again, he was hurt badly. So I'm going to kind of look here. I'm going to be thinking. It says here, the inventor Ben Franklin. I'm wondering here now. There we go. What else did Ben Franklin invent? Many uses for kites. Some people have used kites for fishing. They put a fish hook and bait on the long kite tail. The kite tail dragged in the water. When a fish saw it, it bit the bait and was caught on the hook. Then the kite was pulled in. So now I actually have one of my questions was just answered here. When I asked in the beginning of the text how the kites can be used as a tool, I can see here the author has told me that a kite can be used for fishing. So I'm actually going to go back to that question, and I might even use a different color. Or no, I think I have to stay blue in this one. So how can kites be used as a tool? I learned that kites were used for fishing. Okay. And then I might add a little more information about that, a little more details going back to the text. I might add a little bit more information about what they did with the kite and how they used it as a tool. But boys and girls, I just wanted to remind you again, we're going to stop here. Asking and answering questions while you're reading is a really important skill. And so remember to ask and answer questions such as who, what, where, when, why, and how. While you're reading, as you ask those questions, make sure that you also go back and answer them. Practice that this week. Thanks for watching, learners.